The next type of non-chord tone we will be looking at is the chromatic tone. Chromatic refers to the pitches not found in the scale, whereas diatonic refers to the pitches in the scale. Chromatic tones can be either chromatic passing tones or chromatic neighbor tones. Both may be accented or non-accented. Let's look at an example of each. The following is an example of a chromatic passing tone. The chord tones of the first measure make up the C major chord, C, E, and G. The chord tones in the second measure make up the F major chord, F, A, and an implied C. The G sharp is therefore a non-chord tone. It is the passing tone between chord tone G from the chord in the first measure and chord tone A from the chord in the second measure. Since G sharp is not a diatonic pitch, we call it a chromatic passing tone. How do we know it's not a diatonic pitch? Well, the key signature in this example is C major, and we know from basic music theory that C major is made up of the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Any other pitch would be considered chromatic. Now let's determine if the G sharp is accented or non-accented. Since it happens on a weak beat, the second half of beat 4, it is considered a non-accented chromatic passing tone. Let's look at another example. In the following example, the chord tones of the first measure make up a C major chord, C, E, and an implied G. The chord tones in the second measure make up a G major chord, G, B, and D. Therefore, C sharp is a non-chord tone. It is the passing tone between chord tones C and D. Since C sharp is not a diatonic pitch, we call it a chromatic passing tone. How do we know it's not a diatonic pitch? Well, once again, we must look at the key signature. The key signature in this example is C major. The pitches of C major are C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. All other pitches are considered chromatic. Now let's determine if the C sharp is accented or non-accented. Since it happens on a strong beat, the first beat of the second measure, it is considered an accented chromatic passing tone